Okay everyone, so for today I'd like to show you how I make my version of meatballs. And in my family, really the side of my family that used to make albondigas. Albondigas is the Spanish word for meatballs. It's the on the Dominican side of my family. My mom, on the Puerto Rican side, she never really made meatballs. So the way I make them to go along with pasta. But my grandma on the Dominican side of my family, she used to make these gigantic meatballs and serve them on top of like rice or arroz con gandules, like I showed you how to make arroz con gandules. And they'd eat them with like rice and beans, the way they would eat a steak or stewed chicken or what have you. She used to make them like the size of my fist, the gigantic meatballs. But I'm going to show you how I make them to go along with pasta, and I guess halfway through I'll show you how to prepare them if you want to have them like with rice or something. Yeah, so that's what I want to share today, how I make meatballs. So, ooh, I hit the light up here. Alright, so a disclaimer, these are not like Italian style, so this is not to insult anyone. This is not original, this is not, you know, authentic, this is my version. So yeah, just that little disclaimer. These are not necessarily, even though I'm going to use Italian seasonings, it's not it's not authentic. It's bled-thentic. Alright. So first we're going to start off with some ground beef. This is about a little less than 2 pounds. Here are my seasonings. I'm going to have garlic and onion powder. This is about two teaspoons each, give or take. Salt and pepper is to taste. So this is about a little more than a teaspoon of each. It's just spread out, that's why it looks like a lot. And this is a mixture of parsley, dried oregano, dried rosemary, and dried, what's the fourth thing? Basil. You can buy these all together instead of buying them separately as Italian seasoning. I got a small onion, I'm going to use the whole thing, 4 cloves of garlic, and let's come over here. I have a little dish of flour because we're gonna use the flour to dredge the meatballs before we fry them. And here I have 2 slices. You can use 1 slice of like regular white bread, and they've been soaking in milk. This is, you know, they're very thin. These are the ends of a loaf of multigrain bread that I bought. So I saved the ends to cook with, to make breadcrumbs or to add into something like I'm making today. So you'll see that they're soaking in milk. They have been soaking in milk for the past couple of minutes. This makes the meatballs lighter. Again, the reason why I have 2 slices is that these slices of bread are the ends and they're pretty thin. So you can go for 1 slice of white or wheat. Alright? Besides that, you need a pan for frying, because let's come over here. We're going to fry it, shallow fry them. And I have a pot here with my sauce on a tiny, small simmer. I'll show you in another video how I make sauce. Okay, so let's start here with the beef and the seasonings. Okay, so here's our beef. Here's my onion and garlic going right in there. Here's my various seasonings going right in there. And my bread, my soaked bread, look how it falls apart from the milk soaked bread. Get everything. No egg, I don't use egg. And we're going to combine everything and turn it into kind of like a clay. Now, the thing my grandmother used to do, if you're making them like Dominican style, she would use adobo and sazon, which are Hispanic seasonings. But remember, I'm making this for pasta, so I'm not going to use the Hispanic seasonings because I feel like they kind of conflict with the sauce and, you know, the pasta. But what I do not add, which is like from the authentic Italian type of meatball mixture, is I do not add Parmesan cheese. I don't add Parmesan cheese. So, alright, we're going to work this until I make it into like a nice paste. Then I'll show you the next step. You don't have to watch me do this. Alright, so here's the next step. I took the mixture out of the bowl there just to have more space. We're just going to work on making meatballs. Alright? Now my grandmother would make one like like this big. But again, I'm going to make these to go along with spaghetti. So you can make them as big as you want. That's a good size, I think. So you're going to make the shape of it. You're going to shape it and then dredge it in the flour. Shape it again. Put it on the side. Let's do another. I'm going to shape it. Dredge it a little bit. Bam. Alright, that's the idea. You want me to do one more? I'll do one more. Shape it. Dredge it. Oh, the other thing my grandmother would not do, making them Dominican style, she wouldn't dredge it. She would just go straight to the oil. But I think that this flour helps when you're frying them up. Alright, so I'm going to do the rest of this and we'll come back. Alright, so here's our setup to fry the meatballs. If you notice, I try to get the excess flour off each one. You just want to re-roll them when you're done dredging it. Right, get a little of the extra flour off. Alright, we're just going to start frying them. Is it ready? Yeah, the oil's popping. The heat is on medium-low. And we're going to fry them 2-3 minutes. You could do them in batches. You don't want to crowd the pan. There we go. They're popping now, bruh. I kind of made them slightly different sizes. Not by much. You see, the flour helps them slide across that oil. Otherwise, the meat would stick to the bottom of the pan there. And one thing I was going to say, if we're doing them Dominican style like my grandma, she would skip the flour, well, I did mention it, and just fry it straight, like, 6-7 minutes. Drain it and serve it with like rice and salad and tostones. But we're not doing that. I'm preparing them for pasta. Alright, so I'm going to let it fry here 2 minutes. Flip them over, fry the other side, 2 minutes. And then we'll go on to the next step. Alright, it's almost 2 minutes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip them over to see if... Yeah, that's alright. That's alright. I wanted that brown. So I'm going to flip these guys over. You see that nice brownness? Yeah, that's what I like. That's what I like. And try another 2 minute and a half on the other side. Yeah, boy, it's coming out the way I want it. That nice brownness here. Let me hurry up because I don't want the others to go too long on that side. Yo, cooperate, man. Alright. Oh, my neighbors are throwing stuff in the yard. Alright. You want to watch me flip everyone over? Alright, fine. You see, they turn easily because of the flour. If it was my grandmama, she'd be scraping it to flip it over. And she'd have to leave it on 6 minutes for it to fry through. These are smaller, and they don't need as much time. You can also bake them, 20 minutes, 350 on a well-oiled baking sheet. But we're gonna make these conventionally, nice and brown. You see? All right. I'm gonna start taking these bad boys out. Put them on a paper towel. So that they can drain a little bit. A couple of these you can see it's not as brown, so I'm just gonna leave them a little longer. Flip them over, hold them here in that position. But the rest of them I can start taking out. And as you can see, they come out easily. They're not sticking to the pan. Look at that. Nice. Nice. Alright, so remember my sauce, it was on the back burner on the simmer. I just moved it up here because I'm done frying. And what I'm going to do is, well, the meatballs, what I did was, I finished frying them, drained them on this paper towel, and I actually changed the paper towel twice, just to get more of the oil, the excess oil. And what you can do is, you get another piece of paper towel, you can put it on top and kind of lightly squeeze down on it to get even more of the oil out. But now, we're going to finish cooking the meatballs by putting them into our nice sauce here. I got to show you how I make sauce. That's a whole separate thing. And we're going to let it simmer. I mean, even this is kind of high. I'm going to turn this down. We're going to let it simmer for at least 15 minutes. And that way it'll finish cooking up the meatballs. Hold on a second, let me get a nice thing here, just to mix them up. I should have made a little more sauce, but this is fine. This is fine. It's a little crowded, but it should be alright. Alright, so it's on a simmer. We're going to leave it in there 15 minutes. Look at the mystery of the fog. Alright, whatever. Alright, so in the 15 minutes that I was allowing the meatballs to simmer in the sauce, I prepared my pasta. I boiled my pasta only 6 minutes. I have it nice and al dente, strain the water, put a little bit of that water in with the sauce. And I seasoned the pasta with more Italian seasoning and a tiny bit of olive oil, just a tiny bit. So I have my finished meatballs and sauce here. I'm just gonna... Alright, you can see I adjusted the amount of pasta. For those who are watching their carbs. Put some of this sauce on there. There's my meatball. Get another meatball up in there. Right here maybe. Looking good, huh? Ooh. And what I like to do, 3 meatballs. Let me contain myself. Alright. What I like to do, I like to top it with a little cheese. It's a mix of like Parmesan, mozzarella, and Asiago. And I like to sprinkle it with a little extra Italian seasoning. Look how nice that is, how it's melting it. Oh, and also I have this little basil plant that I've grown it in my kitchen. You can also take a couple of leaves off of it if you have one, optional. Let's see here. Oh, this plant is doing well. Surprise. Because they sell them at my supermarket. And maybe, you know, I don't know, you put a leaf here and a leaf there just to give it some. So there you go. Man, you serve this with maybe a nice salad on the side. I wouldn't put the salad here. I would like on a separate dish. And a glass of wine and you are in business. So that's how I make meatballs, and I guess I lied. I was gonna keep it Hispanic style. Spaghetti and meatballs. Try it. Don't worry, I ain't staying with this small serving. I'm gonna go back and get some more other meatballs.